Good evening. Good evening, Toastmasters.
Good evening.
My name is Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Today I'm going to talk about Project Natick. And in modern life, we cannot live without internet because we use internet services such as Facebook, Instagram, and Line, etc. to make ourselves and others connection. And there's another service is YouTube because I like to watch YouTube, and so I watch YouTube for gaining some knowledge and some entertainment. So I'm very curious about how does the video send into my cell phone and so make me that I can watch video at home. So this is like because YouTube was hosted by Google, so Google has built a lot of data centers around the world. And when a video was published, and the data center will back up the videos to the data center, and then when a person click the link, and the data center will send the video to their cell phones. But of course, that the video will not stored by every data center because it will cost a lot of storage. So what Google do is, like for instance, if there's a YouTuber in Los Angeles, and there's a video which is published. So the first thing is that the video will send the video will be uploaded to the Los Angeles data center, and then when a person in Taiwan, first person in Taiwan wants to watch the video, he clicks the link, and then the video will send from the Los Angeles data center to Taiwan's data center, and then the Taiwan's data center will send the video to the person's device. So and then the person can watch the video. But this kind of process will make that the first person to watch the video in Taiwan will cost the longest time. And then the second person and the third person will watch the video more quickly. So not only the data center will let us can watch video very quick, but also and every service will use the data center. So data center is actually very important for our life. But although that it makes us our lives more convenient, there's a enormous drawback of the data center, and which is what this means. This is a monster called Apu in Doraemon, and what is he eating is that he is eating electricity, right? So which means that the data center actually costs a lot of energies. And if we analyze the proportion of the energy cost of the database, we can see that there are 43% of the energy was used by cooling. And why? Because that the data center will generate a lot of heat. So to ensure that the data center can work normally, so we need to cool down the temperature. Just like our cell phones and computers, if our cell phone is very hot, sometimes it will lag, right? So we need to cool down the devices. And so the method of we cool down the data center is using liquid cooling, but we don't use this kind of small devices. We use ocean water to cool down the data center. So we take the ocean water onto the land and then cool down the data center and then put the ocean water back. But this simple process will cost us 43% of the energy. So this will cost a lot of money, and this is environmental not unfriendly yet. So someone came up with the idea that why don't we just put the data center into the ocean to let the ocean cool down the data center by itself, and we can save the 43% of energy. And after that, there's a team, Microsoft team, they opened a project called Project Natick to make sure to want to experiment that if this kind of concept is possible. So what they do is they build a tube, and then inside the tube they are full of some servers, and you can see the tube as a small data center, and they put nitrogen into the tube, and then they put the tube into the ocean for 2 years to see what will happen. And then just a few months ago, the tube has been taken up to the ocean, and they start to analyze what happened during those 2 years. And the result has come out like a few months ago. And there's a question is this kind of things possible? Can we push the data center into the ocean? And their answer is, during their analysis, their answer is very optimistic. This can actually happen. But why did they find those in those 2 years? So what did they find? First is that the malfunction rate is so low between the data center in the ocean and the land, because their assumption is that because the tube was full of nitrogen, so the electronic devices will not easily get oxidized. And the second is that the temperature in the ocean is is more stable than on the land. So so the environments of in the ocean will make the data center work more than on the land. And the second is there's no human factors because since it was still in the ocean, so nobody can get into there. So which means that there's no engineer that if the engineer wants to fix the devices, maybe he will accidentally let the other devices fall down and broke another server. And this will never happen if we put the data center into the ocean. And second, the third is the liquid cooling in the ocean is very effective, but there's a problem because the data center definitely will generate heat, but will this heat like making the ocean temperature getting higher or influence another species or animals like around the tube? But actually, this will not happen because there are some reasons. It's first that the ocean is so big, and the second is that there's ocean currents everywhere in the ocean. And this will make the heat transfer efficiency very good. So actually, it will just cost like the 0.001 degrees Celsius around the tube, and actually, it's no variance. And so that the team hopes that this can take in practice, and they hope that they can use the energy, green power energy like solar power and wind power, and I hope that they can do the move like lights off by not letting people getting into the data center to reduce the human factor to 0. So maybe maybe a few years later when you watch the video on YouTube, maybe the video was sent from the data center in the ocean. And this is my today's topic. Thank you.